Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. If you are here live, let me know that you're in the chat. And if you're here live, you definitely want to continue. Stay with me here because I do have, once you're here live, you do have an opportunity to win a session with me. I thought it's the end of the year. It's time to give back. It always feels great to give back. So if you're here joining me live, let me know that you're here and stay tuned for that question that I'm going to ask you for your opportunity to win. Happy holidays to everyone. The holiday season I know sometimes is hard for some of you, and so I'm sending you love and light your way. Today is my last LinkedIn Live for the year, and I'm like super stoked that one, I remain so consistent. I think I started Wear It Wednesdays in September, and I've been very consistent in showing up every Wednesday, and you've been very consistent in showing up every Wednesday for me. And so I appreciate your time and your support. If you're new to this space, I'm Salida Roberts. I'm the founder of Style to Impact. And my goal and my mission and purpose in life is to change the way women see themselves and the way they show up, specifically women of color, because it is, with so many challenges and barriers that's already in our way, it's not always easy for us to show up in every space being our authentic self, right? And wearing clothes that really represent who we are. And so the work that I do and really um fuel me and makes me want to get up every day is to really empower you to embrace everything that makes you who you are, and start showing up in a way that is empowering and impactful, and allow you to be confident going into the spaces that you're going into, knowing that you're never shrinking to fit and you're being your whole and authentic self. So that will continue to be my mission as I continue to grow Style to Impact and continue to work with, having the opportunity to work with a few of you as we go on this journey. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support always. I thought I'll end the year wearing the color that became the dominant color in my closet. If you've looked at a couple of posts that I had this week where I talked about green being, realizing that green, the color green just was the dominant color that I was whenever I was purchasing, clothing. It so happened that I was, buying green. And so I kind of took a moment to really reflect on what that meant, because I wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I went out and I said, okay, I want to add, green to my wardrobe. I want to start buying more green pieces. It just so happened that I was being pulled and drawn to the color green, and the philosophy of green, like the psychology behind the color green is that, it's calming, it's peaceful. And so I thought about it. I'm like, oh, I got quite a few green articles of clothing in my closet. Like, why am I doing it? And then it dawned on me that my word for the year, in terms of my personal word, so I usually pick words for the new year as opposed to resolutions, because I find we don't always stick to our resolutions. But when we have a word, it's our guiding light, it's the source of everything that we do. And for me, that word was peace. I wanted to feel at peace. I wanted to have a sense of calm and safety as I go about, whatever challenges the year had to bring. I wanted to have that sense of calm and peace with me. And I was attracting the same energy with the article of clothing that I was choosing, which is in the color green. And so whenever, we always think that we're getting dressed as, is this thing to do, but everything that's in your closet and everything that you decide to wear, there is a reason behind that, right? And understanding that reason and the deeper meaning behind why you're getting dressed. Is it impacting your confidence? Is it allowing you to be your best self? Is it allowing you to, or maybe it's, it's causing you to hide or shrink. And so it's very important that you be very intentional and very strategic about understanding why you are wearing the clothes that you're wearing and why you're buying the clothes that you're wearing, and making sure that it's in alignment with who you are and how you want to show up. And so thank you very much. I see my sister. I have to shout her out because apparently when I don't give her a shout out, she's like super offended. So I see my sister is joining me on YouTube. So I want to say thank you very much, Shawnette, for joining. Appreciate you. And so just as a reminder as well, I'm talking about this idea of being intentional about the clothes that you wear and why you're wearing the clothes that you're wearing. And for those of you who may be looking for, trying to find last minute gifts for that special person in your life, do remember that the gift of style is something that you can give them. And I got this question in my inbox recently. It's like, I want to give someone the gift of style, but how do I approach it, right? Because we always look at style as something that it's super personal, and we don't ever want to come across as we're trying to tell someone that something is wrong with their style. And so I want you, when you're thinking about giving gifts and looking at the possibility of giving the gift of style to someone, look at it in terms of you helping that person boost their confidence, you helping that person grow in their personal and professional goals. So that's my, I don't say shameless plug, but that's my plug when it comes to gift giving this year. If you're still looking for something to give someone in your life, give them the gift of style. And so today I wanted to do a little bit of a recap, like my year in review, the mindset, motivation, and momentum that really kept me going, and what I intend to do in the new year, some of the plans that I have, some of the things that I want to do. Am I just looking at the year in terms of what worked, what didn't work, and of course, the lessons that I would have learned along the way. And so in reflecting on 2022, I realized that I've received, like, I kind of like look at and tracked some of the activities and some of the things that I was doing and some of the, the ways that I put myself out there. And there were quite a few no's. Like, I got a lot of no's this year. And, for some of you, you may be going like, yeah, the no's were a lot. And a couple years ago, receiving and hearing those no's would have affected me emotionally, would have affected me mentally. But because I had a different mindset and perspective in going into this year, getting those no's actually empowered me, actually boost my confidence, because what I realized what I was doing, because I was getting so no's, it meant that I was pushing and putting myself out there a lot more than I may have done in the previous years, right? Because I was fearful of getting no's or fearful of being rejected, so I didn't put myself out there. But this year, getting the amount of no's that I did, I realized that I was definitely putting myself out there a lot. And so the thing that shifted for me in terms of my mindset, I kind of look at what are some things are in my control? What are some things that are not in my control? And never saying no to myself first, right? So I made the effort to put myself out there and see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. It's either yes or no, or maybe not right now. But in doing that, I was not saying no to myself by seeing an opportunity and saying, oh no, I don't think I can apply for that. Oh no, I don't think I am qualified or capable enough to do that. I didn't say that to myself. And that's something that I want you to look at as you reflect on the things that you did in 2022 and where you want to go in the next year, look at how many times you would have said no to yourself, right? How many times you stop yourself from you know, allowing that person to see your awesomeness, to see your uniqueness, to see your gifts and talents that you have. And maybe, yes, maybe they are not quite ready to work with you or give you that opportunity right now, but you've done the hardest part, which is to put yourself out there. And so think about it that way. And as you put yourself out there, what you'll realize is that you start to invest in yourself. At least that's something that I did. I started to look at, okay, if I'm putting myself out there and I'm looking to get these different opportunities, speaking, workshops, clients, then it means that I have to invest in myself. That means that I have to look at ways that I need to be better and improve my skill set. And so one of the things that a couple of things that I did this year, which I'm like super proud that I took the leap, is one, I took the time to invest in professional coaching. Like, we all need a coach. We cannot do this alone. And if you try to do life alone and try to achieve success alone, it will definitely take you longer. It will definitely just have you going on that hamster wheel, just have you and delay it. Basically, you're delaying your success and delaying the things that you want to do. So one of the things that I did was invest in a coach to assist me with the language of sales, because sales is not something that I'm comfortable with. And as women, I'm sure that you can relate to that. It's like selling yourself and selling your service seems to be a difficult thing to do. And so I had to invest in learning the language of sales, understanding how to make it a conversation and have an authentic conversation between me and my prospect, and not coming from that avenue where I'm just like, oh, buy my service, this is why you should. But having a conversation and really understanding what are some of your challenges and struggles, and of course, how can I help you navigate the challenge of getting dressed, and how you feel about your appearance, and really allowing you to step into your most authentic and confident self. So that really did help me to feel confident in myself, just having these conversations, right? And I could not have done that without investing in understanding the language of sales and understanding how to have that authentic conversation. And the other type of investment in terms of coach that I did have is someone to assist me with my mindset. I struggled a lot over the last couple of years with staying focused and understanding that, and just believing in myself. Like, I know what I'm capable of, but I sometimes didn't have that belief in myself, and sometimes I struggled with implementing, because I have that, I had that limiting belief. I struggled with implementing things. Like, I have all these awesome ideas that I want to have in my business, that I want to have, that will facilitate more women being able to embrace their authentic self, more women you know creating a space where I can change how women see themselves and the image that they have of themselves, and really embracing a more empowering and confident way of being. And so I had to invest in a coach to help me with my mindset, just kind of fundamentally understand where I'm at and some of the things that I'm going through, and what does it mean for me by letting go and being open to exploring new avenues, and just knowing that I'm not always going to get everything right, and just having someone to talk these things out definitely did help me in terms of mindset and how I was able to approach the year. The other thing that I did was invest in a virtual assistant, because I am only one person, right? And to build style to impact, there are different things that happens, from email marketing to social media to, my visibility efforts to just my own well-being. And I couldn't do it all alone. And there are things in my business that I just decided that, okay, I'm just going to pass that on to a virtual assistant and have that person handle that for me. And that was mainly like the admin aspect of it, because admin work is not something that I enjoy. Just looking for areas and opportunity for me to go on podcasts and really have those type of conversations. And she was absolutely amazing being able to have someone handle that and not having to worry about it, and doing the thing that really feel great for me. And so as you're thinking about where you're at and some of the things that you would have done this year, I really want you to think about how investing in a coach will help propel you to the level of success that you want, right? We often think that, okay, we can do it alone. It's this superwoman syndrome. Like, I can handle this. I can, it doesn't matter what I'm going through. I'll just power through it. And sometimes we can power through certain situations, and sometimes we just have to say, you know what? I need help. And it's okay to say that you need help. It's okay to have that vulnerability aspect where you're like, I can't do this alone, right? I do need assistance. And for me to get where I want to go, I do need to invest in the right coaches. I do need to invest in the right personal and professional development tools that I need to elevate my success. And so, it reminds me of Rachel Rodder's book, We All Can Be Millionaires. And she talked about this idea behind where, as women, we feel as though if we hired domestic help, we hired someone to help us in the home, or we hired someone to help us with our kids, or we hired someone to help us with the things that society would have said that as women we should do and handle on our own. For some reason or not, we feel shameful doing that. And I find that style and working on our appearance is something that women feel embarrassed asking for help on. And I want to really encourage you to, as you have that mindset shift, is think about how investing in your image can really propel you to that level of confidence that you need, can really take you from feeling so where you're struggling with your image, where you're struggling and not having the confidence, and you're having these body image challenges, that you can shed all of that simply by getting the help that you need, right? And it's this idea of, and something that I found is kind of like in this wrapped around this idea, when we think about style and we think about the mindset that we need, it's like, it's I'm gonna borrow this particular analogy from Les J. Simpson, where she said that sometimes we look at our problems as vitamins, right? It's nice to have it, but if we don't take it every single day, nothing is going to happen. Instead of looking at the challenges that we have as an aspirin, right? Like, I have a headache. If I take an aspirin, it's going to get rid of of my headache right now. Like, having a solution to our immediate problem and not avoiding our immediate problem. So that's definitely a mindset that I had to develop as I go through this year. It's like looking at the challenges that I have and finding the solutions that's going to help me to alleviate the struggles and challenges that I have. And so, thinking about some things that really work for me, it's like I said, I just kind of like outlined some of the things that work, like investing in myself and investing in my business by getting a coach and by getting a VA. And so when you're looking, I looked at like my motivation level, and what really kept me going is I understand that body image and appearance are still universal struggles that women have. It's something that it doesn't matter how old we get, that we will it's a struggle that we all have, specifically because of societal norms or expectations and standards of beauty that's there, and we are constantly comparing ourselves to the standard of beauty that aren't realistic, right? And so I know that struggle is still there, and I know that especially for women of color, it's a source of a bias. It's a source of trauma when it comes to our appearance, when it comes to our style, when it comes to our image. And so I'm motivated every single day by having the opportunity to work with women that are ready to embrace their authentic self, that are ready to step into a more powerful style that's going to help them not only increase their income, not only increase their confidence, but increase the impact that they want to have by being a true representation of themselves, right? Because the more that you can represent who you are in your business and in your career, the more opportunities you create for yourself, and the more you create spaces where other women can be their authentic self. So that's definitely something that's kept me going and motivated throughout the year. And of course, the momentum that I'm looking to have going into the new year is really maximizing my own impact, right? What are some ways that I really want to step out a little bit more? I found that this year, and even though I was doing different things to challenge myself, I was still not doing one thing that I promised myself I'll do a little bit more of, and that is the process of business, of building relationships and partnerships. Like, I struggled with that, and it's a work in progress for me. I'm not gonna equate it too much to be an introvert. I just think it's something that I need to learn how to build better relationships and have better conversations with persons that I want to work with, and persons that, I, can step in supporting the work that they're doing, and at the same time being able to uplift and build each other. So that's definitely something that I want to do in 2023, that I'm going to be focusing on, getting out there and having those coffee chats, like going, meeting up with other professional women, other women who are looking to make bigger impact in the world and leave their mark on the world. And so that's something that I'm looking at. So if you're in the Atlanta area, then send me a DM, and I'm open to connecting and having conversations and seeing how we can support each other. So send me a DM on that note. And another, like, momentum that something else that I want to do, I start doing it. As I said, I hired a VA to do that and to help me with finding those opportunities. And so I've had like tremendous progress in terms of building my speaking portfolio and having those opportunities to be on podcasts, to opportunities to do presentations and workshops. And so I want to build that even further. That's an aspect of my business that I really want to drive more conversation on, drive in getting into different spaces. And yes, community is definitely important. We definitely do need that. Let me just say, do you create a communication calendar for your messages on social media? Communication calendar, like, I do have a schedule that I follow in terms of how I'm going to go through my week. I have on Fridays where I do those type of networking and communication. Just to answer your question, in the chat, I see Letitia's there. She's in the chat. So I'm answering her question where she's asking me if I do have a communication calendar for social media, and I do that on Fridays. Right, Fridays is my day where I connect and have conversations. So yes. And it's so thanks for asking that question. And I'm trying to make a better effort of having those conversations and really building having my community around me, and building my community around me, I should say. And so to go back to what I want to do next year is having more speaking engagements and more workshops. And so if you are, in an organization that's looking to advance women in leadership, given the confidence and the tools that they need, then I am open to speaking to you and speaking to your organization and the women in your organization, and how to really improve their confidence, how to leverage the power of style to boost their confidence, and how to take their personal brand to the next level through style, and really redefining, especially for organizations, companies, as you look at your DEI efforts, as you look at how can you create a more inclusive space for your employees. Is one of the things that you can do is really to redefine what executive presence and professionalism means, to include every employee, right? To have every employee in mind. So if you are facilitating any women organization or any groups within your company that's looking to advance women in the workplace, women into leadership, then I am open to having a conversation with you and the possibility of conducting workshops and having speaking engagements to really boost the confidence of your employees and your team. And so as I wrap up this year in review, just kind of like giving you an overview as to some of the things that I've been doing and some of the things that I want to do. I also wanted to, kind of like save the best for last. One of the things that I'm like, two things that I'm like super, super proud of, and I cannot believe that it all happened this year. And it just a testament to me putting myself out there and getting more no's, which means that, I find different ways in, creating opportunities for myself and being able to, like, I cannot believe that one, I was in LinkedIn's creator program, right? The first ever LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program, which was absolutely amazing to be in that program. And to top it off, to be one of LinkedIn's top voices in the fashion and beauty industry. And I think that's like amazing for me, because one of the reasons why I started to create content on LinkedIn was really to build a community. I didn't have a community coming from, migrating from another country and living in a new country and not having any connections, not having a community. One of my primary focus on LinkedIn and creating content on LinkedIn was to build a community so that I can have these type of conversations and push my passion and my purpose of empowering women to embrace more of who they are and show up as a true representation of who they are through the clothes that they wear. And so I am, I could not have done the things that I'm doing, one, without this platform, and two, without the support of so many of you that have, either engaged with my content or have given me the opportunity to work with you on your personal image and style. And so I want to say thank you all very much for that. I really do appreciate your support, and I look forward to your continued support as we venture into the new year. And so, as a way of showing my appreciation, as you're here live, thank you very much. And you only qualify for this if you're here live and you answer the question. I started a series called Women Making an Impact, which I absolutely loved. I had so many amazing guests in that series. If you can tell me the name of my very first guest for that series, you will get an opportunity you will win yourself a style session with me to help you maximize your image and impact for 2023. You can find all my episodes for that conversation is housed on my YouTube channel, which is Style to Impact with Salida. If you can find the name of my very first guest for that series, Women Making an Impact, let me know in the chat. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to go do that research. and put that in the chat. My very first guest on my series, Women Making an Impact. Drop that in the chat. What's the name of the first guest? And so while you get that together, I also want to, for those of you who are here live and who are, watching the replay, I want you to think about, as you reflect on 2023 and some of the things that you want to do, I want you to think about what brought you joy this year, right? What was some of the things that you did this year that really made you smile, that really made you feel great about yourself? And really take note of what those things are and put it on your calendar, on your to-do list, on your, your goal sheet, whatever your plan for next year, to do more of that. And also, like, what are some personal and professional, what are some personal and professional habits that you can start improving on? Are you looking to do more public speaking? Do you want to become more visible in your company? Do you want to become more visible at work? Do you want to put yourself up, where you're developing your personal brand at work to be able to attract those opportunities? Then think of those things that you want to do. Is your image something that, the clothes that you wear is causing you not to feel great about yourself? Is that something that you want to do? Is your personal image something that you want to work on? If that is something that you need to work on, then make a plan to work on it. Make a plan to have it as part of your personal and professional goals. And so I am going to look in the chat. Oh no, that was not my first guest. My very first guest on Women Making an Impact was Kenyatta D. Berry. And we talked about this idea of, genealogy and learning about who you are and being able to show up as your authentic self. And so as you look at ways to improve yourself next year and things that you want to do, that's something I invite you to do. Go back and listen to those conversations that I had on LinkedIn. I know there's nothing wrong with trying is how we learn, and trying is how we grow. So I appreciate you for even taking the time and effort to try and identify who my first guest was. But it's also an opportunity just to go back and look at some of those conversations that I've had on throughout the year, and some of those conversations that have really inspired and motivated other women. And so you can find some inspiration from that as well. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for being here. I so appreciate you rocking with me. I so appreciate your support. To my past clients, I appreciate your vote of confidence in me to work with you and help you with your personal style as you put yourself out there for more opportunities and making bigger impact in your career and your business. Thank you very much for trusting me. Thank you all very much for being here. And I look forward to growing and having bigger impact with all of you as we go into the new year. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday and happy new year as you come along, because this is my last conversation for the year. Take care, everyone. Bye.